Good afternoon, PRST 4600 friends. My name is Ebony Price, and this is my signature assignment about hypothesis testing. The article I chose was Global Local Comparison Approach, Understanding Marine Spatial Behavior by Applying Spatial Statistics and Hypothesis Testing to Passive Acoustic Data. So within this article, they actually done something really cool. They used some of the U.S. Naval's hydrophones they have, and they used some of the recorded data to find beaked whale foraging sounds. I thought this was a really cool thing to do, and I would like to continue to see this research being done in the future. During the experiments in this article, they used 3 tests to compare, to look at and compare the data that they had. The first test was the Morans 1 analysis. This test was done to show changes in behavior globally across the areas of beaked whales. And what they were looking at specifically were like the patterns in which these beaked whales were. Like, did they have a cluster distribution where they were all clustered into one area, or were they in a random distribution just all over the place? The first table you see are the different types of patterns they seen within this study. Like, you got the clusters and the randoms, and then you have your statistics that were pulled from this data. So you have your Z statistic and your p-value, and then it shows like the clustered have that lower p-value versus your random distributions that have those higher p-values. I thought that was very interesting. They also looked at this in 3 different periods of time, and they done like ad hoc testing to look at different periods of time, and most of those periods of time had that low p-value and those distributions were clustered. That was something they seen across the board. The second test they done, they referred to a lot as the G test or the Geddes-Orji analysis. This was used to show hot and cold spots within the foraging area. That means like the hot would be the higher foraging areas versus cold spots being those lower foraging areas. I thought the graphic for this was very interesting, the way they done the dot plot for this. They charted out, this is just some of the charting out of the different types of distributions they seen, those patterns they seen. And then down there you can see the Z-score and what it looks like at a 95% confidence level. So I thought those were pretty interesting statistics also, considering the tests that we've also been running, those t-tests that we've been running here lately in the course. The last test they did during this was the Kruskal-Wallis test. So they wanted to look at like the mean rank distributions at different periods of time. So what they found was that everything had a pretty low p-value, and the significance level they actually used was 0.05, and their p-values were under that. So they did see some different mean ranks across. I did want to include a picture of the beaked whales, just in case you hadn't seen one or heard of one. They're pretty cool creatures. So I love marine animals. That's why I chose this article. I found this very interesting. I love that their tests were similar to the t-test that we had been running in StatCrunch. So I thought this was a pretty cool article. I hope that they continue this research. It would be pretty cool to see, to compare the areas, to see if environmental factors are affecting the areas. So I do hope they continue this research and maybe get a little more depth in what those foraging behaviors, what affects those, and what causes them to be different. I would also like to see it done in areas where there aren't hydrophones yet. They use some of the U.S. Naval hydrophone data for this study. And I would like to see somebody actually go place some somewhere in a different area and try and track maybe foraging behaviors in that area and compare it and see if there's a difference. So I do hope this research continues. As far as biases go, um, they do have like a little conflict of interest message at the end that says the author declares that the research was conducted in the absence of any commercial or financial relationships that can be construed as potential conflicts of interest. However, some of the material that the work was based upon was supported by a grant provided to the Center for Coastal and Ocean Mapping at the university where they done this study and where the authors are professors. So I don't know, maybe some bias there, maybe not, but definitely could be considering that it is grant based, even though there was no financial gain from it. So that's pretty much my signature project. I hope you guys look at this article and check out some of the cool graphics in there and look at some of the cool statistics that they have because this is very interesting. Thank you guys.